Hi, my name is Elaine, and in today's video, I've got some tips to help you to make your life easier when you work full-time. So I started a new job at the end of last year, and I went from working part-time to working full-time. And I'm very happy back working full-time, but the one thing I've noticed about it is how much time you don't have outside work when you work full-time. Not only that, but also I suppose there's a monotony to working full-time, particularly if it involves like a commute that you have to do every day. And I really like structure. So I like to know what I'm going to be doing. I like to have a week planned. However, the one thing I hate is monotony. So I hate doing the same thing day in, day out. And obviously that's kind of unavoidable when I commute because I have to go into work, I have to come home from work, and into work and come home from work. But what I've done to kind of help myself with that is that there is a lot of kind of periphery tasks around work. So things like just getting yourself ready, picking out your clothes, making your lunch, making your dinner. There's like all of these kind of monotonous-y tasks that happen outside maybe the 8 hours that you're working. So add an hour, 2 hours either side, you've already gone up to kind of 12 hours of maybe similar things day to day. Now, thankfully enough, my job is quite diverse and quite interesting, and every day is different and there isn't a monotony to it. What I wanted to avoid this time was getting into the pattern of literally repeating the same tasks day in, day out, every single day. So because of that, I came up with a couple of tips and a couple of things that I do in order to cut down on those repetitive, monotonous tasks. And not only do they do that, but they also help to make your life easier if you are a full-time worker. So that is why this video is here. That is why I want to share it with you. And I hope that they make your life a little bit easier and a little bit more productive on either side so that you have more time off between sleeping and working to do the things that you love. And as always, time codes in the down bar below. Skip ahead to the ones that are relevant to you. So the first one is to make a weekly list the day before you start work. Could be a couple of days before, but I tend to do mine on a Sunday night in preparation for Monday morning, and usually in my bed just before I kind of start to wind down to go to sleep. So there's so many ways you can do the to-do list. You can write it down, you can put it into your calendar. How I like to do it is within my notes. I used to have it in my calendar, but I actually like to be able to look at the whole week in a block. And then I find then if there's a task that I couldn't do on one day, I'll pass it on to the next day. Basically what I do is I write out like things that I need to remember during that week. It could be something as simple as I wash my hair every second day. So I would put in like wash hair, don't wash hair this morning. And I always try to plan having like fresh, nice hair for maybe a client meeting or if I'm going to meet someone after work. And then I tend to not wash my hair on the days where I'm just going to be in the office with my hair tied back. So I list things like that. I list maybe if I need to make my dinner on a Tuesday, you know, for Tuesday and Wednesday or whatever, I'll write that into the list. If I'm meeting anybody, if I have anything in particular that I need to do, if I have to bring something to work, like if I had a meeting and I needed to bring, for instance, I met with a bank recently to set up a savings account and I had to bring my passport and stuff with me. So I had that written in my list. But that's basically the type of thing that I put into my weekly to-do lists. And then I have them set so you can just tick them off as you go. And then if there's a task that I've forgotten about or if it seems kind of irrelevant in the end, I can just delete it or pass it on to the next day. The next one is meal plan and meal prep. I'm always going on about this and I probably somewhere think that it's the answer to everyone's problems. But meal prepping and particularly meal planning, oh my God, it cuts out on so much like monotonous thinking every single day. Now, if you love cooking and you love cooking something new every single evening and you use it as your wind down time, just maybe plan in advance so that you have all the groceries in so you don't have to go to the grocery store every single day in order to get the items to bring them home to cook them. So you could have that planned and you could maybe have 5 recipes and just pick whichever one you want on each individual evening. If you're like me and you like cooking, but it's kind of an extra thing that you do midweek, I do a lot of meal planning and prepping. So Ronan will cook part of my lunches. I will bring other things for lunch then, which I've prepped in advance. For the dinners, for instance, I'm making a stew this evening, which I will use for 2 days of dinner next week. I also have some dinners in the freezer, which I will take out and I will use. But basically, I think I'll do a whole video. I know I did a video on tips for meal prepping before, but I think I'll actually do a video on how I lay out my week and how I come up with the recipes. Like, I will eat the same thing maybe twice a week or 2 or 3 times for my lunch. That doesn't bother me. If that is the kind of thing that does bother you and you have enough money to maybe get a meal delivery service, go for that. Or if you have enough money to buy your lunch every day, go for that. But definitely have an idea so that you just don't have, you're not at lunchtime going, what do I want? Like, what am I going to eat? I'm starving, can't think of anything. And then you get something that you don't really want, or you get something that's like the closest to you and the most convenient. I find meal prepping and planning saves you so much brain space. The third one is to get a closet organization app. I appreciate that this isn't going to be for everyone. I'm going to put up here, wherever side on the card, I'm going to put up a link to the review I did of the smart closet organization app, and I find it excellent. It's definitely tedious at the start to input all the stuff, but I just find it so good for, like, literally on a Sunday. I look at the weather for the week, I look at what meetings I have, and I'll pop in my outfits onto the calendar of whatever I want to wear for that specific week. And sometimes I change it up or I move it if maybe there's an outfit that's dirty or whatever. But it has, number one, made me feel better about myself because I'm dressed well every day, but also I just don't even have to think about it. And I get a reminder in the morning to say, this is your outfit for the day, which is like having your own personal stylist in your phone. If that's not your thing, maybe consider a capsule wardrobe for work. Again, I have a video on that, which I'll stick up here and down below. But the capsule wardrobe, it would just mean, again, it would cut down on thoughts because you might have 10, 11 outfits that you can choose from, and you could just like put them into your phone that you're going to wear them every day, or just have a list and like go down through the list, and then when you're finished, repeat the list again. But definitely try to plan your outfits. If you're someone who likes to decide what you're going to wear the night before, do it that way. But definitely have your outfits planned so that in the morning you're not stressing, you're not trying to find something to wear, and it's one less thing to think about. The fourth thing then is to lay out your clothes and whatever you need for work the night before. I don't do this every time, but with my clothes I don't tend to lay them out because we kind of have an extra, like the room that I'm in right now is our spare room, and it's basically like a walk-in wardrobe. It's just for storage, and so because I have the app, I know what I'm going to wear, so I just leave them in the wardrobe. But one thing that I do is that I get up 2 hours before Ronan, and I'm actually gone to work before he even wakes up. So I always, rather than fumbling around in my underwear drawer in the dark, I tend to, just before I go to sleep, I just, on the top of the chest of drawers, like leave out whatever underwear, socks, tights, anything that I need, or if there's anything extra, like if I want to bring a particular book to work or whatever, I'll just pop it on the chest of drawers. So when I wake up, I just go to those, grab them and bring them outside with me. I could just leave them in the room next door, but usually it's like an afterthought just after I've got into bed, so I don't want to go out and go into the other room. But definitely lay stuff out. Leave your bag ready to go for the following day, and you could even have your lunch bag ready in the fridge, and then you just have to take it out and pop it into your bag before you go to work. The fifth thing then is probably something that, depending on where you live, you may not need to do this. However, in Ireland, the weather is so changeable that I am constantly checking a weather app. You may ask why. It's not just because I want to know what the weather is going to be like, but how the weather is will influence the success of my commute. So if it's raining and I don't have an extra pair of socks or an extra pair of tights or an umbrella or a raincoat, it will be hell trying to get to work. I'll turn up soaked, miserable, livid, annoyed, anything that you want. That will be me. Again, if it's like really sunny day in the summer and I'm wearing too much clothes, I will turn up sweaty and hot because part of my commute is the bus, another part is a walk. So it's just one thing that I check, and it also influences, number one, what I wear. I tend to actually wear tights a lot more when it's raining because I feel like I can just change the tights rather than my jeans being wet. But it's definitely something to check. And if you're in a place where the weather's a bit changeable, check the weather the night before you go to sleep, and maybe just check it in the morning, and it'll help you in your head to be like, what do I need to bring? Is there anything particular that I need to bring with me, even if it's just an extra pair of socks, just so that you're not left feeling damp and crappy in work. The sixth one then is to leave some essentials in work. So This can be different depending on your commute or depending on your various needs for work. So I always have like some painkillers in work and some feminine hygiene bits in work. I don't tend to leave socks or anything in work because I just bring those on the days that I need them from checking the weather app. Other things that I have would be like hand cream, lip balm, chewing gum. I don't tend to bring makeup currently because my commute isn't strenuous enough that I need to put on makeup when I arrive. However, I'm planning to cycle to work once the days become brighter and the mornings are brighter. So what I will do is I will buy myself a set of makeup that I will leave in work, and then I'll get in maybe 15 minutes earlier, put on my makeup there. Same with like some dry shampoo and maybe a hairbrush. So just leave any essentials or things that you constantly think that you're putting into your bag, bring them and leave a set of them in work. And then my final tip, my 7th tip, is to reclaim your commute. So this is going to be dependent on your specific commute. For me, I get the bus, I'm on the bus for about 20-25 minutes, and then I walk for another 20 minutes or so. So things that I like to do to reclaim my commute is I've got a really nice set of headphones, which I actually didn't bring up with me, but they're you'll probably see them in my B-roll footage, but they are wireless Sony headphones, and Ronan got them for me for Christmas. They're noise cancelling. So what I do is, depending on how I feel every morning, some mornings I listen to a podcast, sometimes I might listen to music, sometimes I won't listen to anything, I'll just put the headphones on to kind of block out the other noise. Sometimes I might watch something, usually on the way home I might like watch an episode of Neighbours or watch an episode of YouTube or something, like someone's YouTube video. But just doing something that reclaims the commute for me. But it could be anything. The fact that I now actually walk to work, to me, has reclaimed a bit of my commute, because I walk at least 40 minutes a day to and from work. That's really cool. If you're cycling, could even just be enjoying your cycle and, you know, cycling along, maybe going a slightly longer route to work, but a more pretty route rather than just functionally driving through traffic. There's so many things that you can do if you're someone who's on the train, or if someone who you can read in transport. I can't read. Just use it to do something other than commuting. In the car, again, you could listen to podcasts, you could listen to an audiobook, you could do, again, on the train or the bus, you could do like Duolingo and learn a new language. Probably not really saying it out loud, but you could find something that you could learn, like just an online course. Just do something to reclaim your commute. My commute takes me an hour and a half every single day. That hour and a half could be wasted, or it could be used even just to chill out and relax and take some quiet time. Reclaim your commute. And I think that is it for today's video. They are all my tips, and again, for me, they were born out of trying to cut the monotony out of my day, but they also just will make your life easier and give you extra time either side of work so that you can do something else. Like, if you think about it, if you're asleep for 8 hours, if you're in work for 8 hours and you're commuting and doing extra bits for 2 hours, there's still like 6 hours there that you can do whatever you want with. You could start your side hustle, you could do your YouTube channel, you could have a bath, you could exercise, you could see friends. There's so much you can do with that extra time. Spend time with your family, spend time with your dog. But definitely it's worth thinking about those monotonous tasks and seeing if there's a way to make them easier, to make your full-time working life easier. And that is it. If you like this video, as always, please give it a big thumbs up or share it with your friends. If you are new to my channel, please click the subscribe button. I make content about helping you to navigate through your 20s and 30s. And I cover things like career, money, what else? Lifestyle, beauty, loads of things, home renovation, anything that you might be facing in your 20s and 30s. Thanks for watching.